So, John Paul, would you suggest that the couples come to see you together, or do you think it's better for, say, one of them to see you, or then, like, what is the best thing to do?
Well, people can't come to see me together. And the reason is that when I'm providing somebody with legal advice,
Hmm.
I am their lawyer. And
Right.
that means that I have a duty of undivided loyalty to that client. And if I see them both together, well, there's a conflict of interest,
Hmm.
right? And you know, what I tell to one party, you know, comes to the detriment of the other party, right? And vice versa. Now, having said that, right?
Hmm.
Um, because I am not nearly as hidebound and troubled by ideas about what legal advice is versus legal information,
Mm.
I have at times, with a very carefully crafted letter, agreed to meet people who are still in a relationship to provide them with legal information, not advice, about what the future holds and about what the range of options are. And as a mediator, I'm actually quite comfortable doing that. But it's important that each party understands that I'm not acting as their lawyer. I don't owe them a duty of undivided fealty and loyalty, and that, you know, they're in a conflict of interest with each other, and that they understand these things before they come and see me. But I really don't mind doing that at all. From the point of view of most lawyers, that's toxic. It's anathema, right? It's the kind of stuff that
Yeah.
gets us in deep doo-doo with the Law Society, right?
Right.
But with the right letter that people sign ahead of time, and putting on my mediator hat, well, I'm prepared to do that. And that's actually quite comfortable, because I can tell people all sorts of stuff about, you know, this is the bad shit to avoid, and these are the things that are positive and constructive that you really should aim towards, right? And I like being able to do that. Um, and the other alternative, of course, the classic setting in which people are seen together, is in the context of counseling, right? You know, and that's great, but a clinical counselor or a psychologist or a therapist doesn't have the expertise to provide you with the legal information you need. And so they are good at talking about, well, Sandy, Jill just told you that you were a total bitch. How does that make you feel? And helping you work through the emotions that accompany the end of a relationship. But they're not very good about, well, because they can't, they're not very good about talking about the legal aspects. And from my point of view, the reality is that the breakdown of a relationship is both a psychological and emotional issue to be dealt with, but it's also a legal issue. And, you know, family law would be so much nicer if there was a tidy line between the two of them, but there isn't. And so I quite like having the opportunity to see people together if I can. Most of the time, however, it's one person at a time. And that's the traditional way that lawyers will deal with folks who are separated.
That's excellent. Now, if the couple came to see you together, are they allowed? So let's say the wife thought, wow, they really like you, they want to hire you as their advocate, as their lawyer.
No,
You're not
can't do
allowed,
it.
right? Okay.
No, can't do it. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a profound conflict of interest. I would have information about the other side that would give my client an advantage. And so the rules of the Law Society wouldn't allow that. And ethically speaking, even were it not for the rules of the Law Society, ethically speaking, it would be the wrong thing to
Right.
do.
That's good to know. Yeah, I know that actually a lot of people have said to me, oh, like even for wills or something like that, they go, well, not, sorry, maybe I shouldn't bring that in, but they're like, oh, my husband and I are on pretty good terms. Like we're not fighting like cats and dogs, but we want to get a divorce. Can we just, the both of us hire the same lawyer? Because we want to
Sure.
save money, right? Because
Oh,
that's a very
you
important
can,
driver.
but you have to be careful about the hat that the lawyer's wearing, right? As a mediator, right, I
Okay,
can't provide you with legal advice, but I can provide you with legal information.
correct.
I suppose that I could probably fill in like the divorce forms, but I would be reluctant to do that, right? Because I just don't want to get involved in that. But I can certainly talk to both parties to a relationship, or if it's a polyamorous family, everybody involved in the relationship. But
Right.
everybody has to be clear that I am not acting as your lawyer. I am not your advocate. I am helping all of you. I'm not providing legal advice, but I am providing legal information. It's, you know, so what it comes down to is that where people are able to cooperate and work together to
Mm-hmm.
compromise their own individual interests, people who work as mediators can help. And even better is to hire a family law lawyer who's also a mediator, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the family law lawyer will know the lay of the land and what the
Mm-hmm.
rights and obligations are, and can help the couple work together to find their way out of the thicket, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing, though, is that if there's ever any chance of things going off the rails and heading towards an adversarial context, whether we're talking about court or we're talking about arbitration, well, then the person in the middle has to be very careful, right? And it's critically important that nobody is under the impression that the lawyer that they're seeing for this information is representing their interests or
Mm-hmm.
protecting their
Mm-hmm.
interests.